All right, the back of page 6. The opening is here on the right. I have one piece of cardstock that's 4 inches by 8 inches. I'm going to put the 4-inch side at the top and score it 1/2 inch. I know this pile is very intriguing, isn't it? I'm going to fold and burnish on the score lines, and then I'll add it to the page. Before I get much further, I'm going to go ahead and add my magnets. So on this little flap, put that piece on top, add my other magnet. I wish I had a smaller magnet at this point because I really don't need a heavy one, but that's okay. It will work. All right, magnet's done. For my base page, I've got a piece that's 6 7/8 by 7 7/8. We're going to introduce that paper. 6 7/8 by 7 7/8. It's going to be fun, especially because it's the last page. Now we still have other things to do, but it's the last page. I must have cut this small or big, I guess. But that's okay. Alrighty. Then I have this flap. So first, I'm going to want the hearts, then the diamond, and then the red stripe. Yep. So the stripe, the red stripe, is 1 3/8 by 7 7/8. 1 3/8 by 7 7/8. The diamond, do you remember when we cut that way back in the beginning? It came from, I think it's the Curiouser and Curiouser paper. No, it didn't. It came from this page that had the cut aparts, but it's got the diamonds on the back. Well, anyhow, the diamonds were one of the patterns you can cut out, not the back paper. So anyhow, it's 1/4 inch by 7 7/8. The reason we're using this one is because some of this, the hearts on this paper, wait, let me move this, have that pattern. So I wanted to introduce that. And then this one is 1 7/8 by 7 7/8. I'm really happy that by the time we finish this book, I will have used, at least in one way, shape, or form, all of the papers that were in the collection. Okay, so that's cool. I need to get a paper for the back, and I'll get that. But let's look at this pile. So what is this pile? Well, we have this, which did come from Curiouser and Curiouser. I just cut around it. And then this was in the ephemera. But I didn't want to just, I wanted, number one, the white on the back. So I wanted to spruce them up a little bit. And while I'm doing that, I'm grabbing a corner rounder because these have rounded corners, so we have to round the corners. These measure 1 3/4 by 2 5/8. So I got this red paper, which measures 2 by 2 7/8. 2 by 2 7/8. So you'll need 2 of those. And then you'll need some of this gold paper that's 2 1/8 by 3. And you'll need 2 of those also. 2 1/8 by 3. I have this, I think it's a dress your craft corner rounder, and I'm using the smallest one. I've confused myself. Say it ain't so. This black cardstock is 2 1/4 by 3 1/8. It's hard to see when this goes in the corner rounder. 2 1/4 by 3 1/8. Okay, and then oh, I'm missing a piece somewhere. I'll have to find it. All right, anyhow, let's put these aside, put that aside. So, obviously we're going to layer. So the gold will go on top of the black. The red on top of the gold. And the cards on top of the red. You like it? I do. Now, this, it's the same as the gold. It is 2 1/8 by 3, and I will round the corners. This is going to go on the back side because some of it's going to peek out. Now, if you've seen the walkthrough, you know where it's going to go. But if you haven't, it'll be a surprise. Oh, I guess I could have used that one. Huh. Well, too late now. But I guess I could have used the this side. You know what? I'll do it for one. Okay, so I've got this. So it is 3 by 4 1/8. And we're going to put our cut apart onto there. And then this will go on the back. Could go either way, huh? All right, and let's pull in our page. And I've got this. Now you could cut it 3 3/8. I cut it 3 1/8. And then I also cut this, which is just about 1/4. I'm going to add this over to here. So that will cover the magnet nicely. And then add this next to it. I just wanted something to break up the pattern. Looks like I put my page on crooked because you see how the gap gets wider. So when I put this flap on, I probably put it on crooked. It's not the worst thing in the world. So now what we're going to do is add these guys onto here. So there is the page. Now you could put a photo mat there. I think I like it without a photo mat. So that is the back of page 6. So guess what? That is all of our pages. Doesn't mean we're done. What we're going to do next is the inside back cover. So grab your cover and let's work on that. All right, so for your inside back cover, you'll need a piece. I'm using a lightweight cardstock 4 by 8.5. And for the flap, it's the heavyweight 7.5 by 6 3/8. We're going to put the 6 3/8 at the top and score it 1/2 inch. For this, it's going to be a pocket, so we'll score on 2 short sides and 1 long. So I'll put the long side at the top 8.5, score it 1/2 inch, then the 4-inch at the top, score it 1/2 inch, and then the 8-inch side at the top. And yes, you guessed it, score it 1/2 inch. Miter the corners, cut through the X caused by the score lines. And here I am going to miter. And I'm also going to round the corner. So I use my largest corner rounder. And round the corners. This is a flap on top of a pocket. And just because I like to have the corners rounded on a flap, I'm going to tell you to round the corners. Now, you might not care if the corners are rounded on a flap, but it affects my sense of balance if they're not. This is going to go in the pocket or on the bottom to create the pocket. So let's glue this first and then we'll add tape to it. This will glue to the top. Okay, so this is 3 3/8 by 7 3/8. That's going to go there, but I'm not going to put it down yet. This is 7 3/8 by 5 7/8. So I'm going to round the corners. So again, I'm not adding the fronts. I'm just going to put this on the back. Okay. So now what I'm going to do for the front of this before I add it on is figure out, well, I'm going to make some, a circle closure. So I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper. This is the heavyweight cardstock. I'm going to punch 4 circles. This is a 3/4 inch circle punch. You could use a different size if you want. So I have 4 of those, and then I'm going to do 2 in red, plain red. And you could use whatever color you want. Just happens that this is the scrap that I had when I was able to grab it. All right, I'm going to put some adhesive on the 4 black circles. And then I'm going to pile them up. So one red will go on top of a black, one black will go on top of another one. So red on top of the black and black on top of the other one. Make sure they're centered. And I'm going to ink the edges because my punch just doesn't punch straight. I know I need to take some foil or sandpaper or something and work it, but in the meantime, I'm just going to ink the edges so you don't see all the white that was showing. I think I'm inking my fingernails more than anything. And then I'm going to grab a hole punch. I'm using this one just because I know it'll go through 3 layers of paper. Do my best to center it. If you have to, on the back of it, just draw 2 lines, and where they intersect should be the center. And then I'll grab some brads. I'll just go with black. You could use eyelets if you want. You have to, are these black? Well, whatever they are, they're what I'm going to use. I'm just not that good with the eyelets. I need to use them more because, as you can see, and this is only one of like 6 containers, I have a lot. Okay, so before I put these in, let me scoot these out of the way. I'm going to figure out where the center is in here. So I'll put this where it's going to be glued. And then I know I want it to be about 1/2 inch from the bottom of the flap. Going to mark that, and I'm going to double check to make sure I get that in the center. So if this is 7 3/8, it's going to be 3 1/2 and 1 1/2 eighth. 3 1/2 and 1 1/2. So it'll be 3 and 11/16. So this is where I need to make a hole. And do the same for up here. In this case, I just want it to correspond with this one. So I'm just going to make a hole here. This one I know will reach. For here, I do have this that I know will reach. If it doesn't reach, all you need to do is grab a pin or something and make a hole. So now I will add the brads to our hole. And later I'll go in and grab some baker's twine or something and tie it around one, loop it around, see how far it goes, make a knot or add some dangle or something. I'll find something in my stash to add to it. Okay, then I'm going to glue this down. And I'm going to add some extra glue here just to make sure that stays in place. So there we go with that. And make sure I have this right side up. There we go. And then glue this down for here. Sure that's straight enough. All right, the inside back cover pocket, inside the pocket, I have this piece that's 7 3/8. It has to be at least 3 3/8. Oh, no. It has to at least be 5 1/4. This happens to be 6 inches. So whatever you've got, you can use to go in the pocket. You could use plain red, you could use the plain gold. sure that opens, and it does. So there we go. So after we add the baker's twine or string or whatever, we're done with that. You know, you could have added magnets if you didn't want to go through that. You could have easily added magnets. So that is the inside back cover.